Well, hello everybody, one and all. Welcome back to our NXT Tuesday night reviews here on Unpopular Review with the head boss in charge for the night, this fabulous wrestling doll, unofficial camera woman, Sabrina Estella, the woman of many names. And next to me for the night, I have the founder, co-creator, head of the table, tribal chief of the Unpopular Review brand here. Joining me tonight, the executive consultant.
Yeah, this is without a doubt the first full episode I watched of NXT in quite some time. And I have to say, I did not hate it.
Yay, it's a miracle. EC didn't hate an episode that had Wes Lee on it. And now we're going to talk about all things NXT, including that first match that had the returning Wes Lee, who was supposed to be out for a year, and as I said before, was at that taping when he made that announcement, came back in 5 months, and had his first match back in the ring. And basically, he put on a hell of a show for his comeback. Had the people on the edge of their seats. Everybody was very happy seeing him come in. Everybody was cheering for him, just like last week. And match was great. It was it was strength versus speed, like it usually is when it comes to people like Josh Briggs and Wes Lee. I enjoyed the match. I liked it. The ending was good. The way he attacked it, the way that Wes Lee attacked Josh Briggs out of the ring into the announce table and brought it back and then did that twist right down onto him. And he secured his shot for the North American title that he technically never lost, because he had to vacate it because of the injury that he had to get, as well as the surgery for said injury. Whew. And we all know exactly the words that EC will say when it comes to Wes Lee. Wes Lee doesn't have no charisma. Wes Lee is not sellable as a champion. I don't buy it. Well, too bad. Because guess what? The people buy it. The people love it. And yes, he sold the hell out of that back injury, but guess what? He came back a la John Cena 2008 Royal Rumble when that man was supposed to be gone for a while, came back in 4 months and surprised the hell out of everybody. And guess what? It happened again. And we shall see what will come through as far as the future for Wes Lee and that title. You telling me not to get him started? That's my job. Somebody's supposed to rile him up. How else is the show going to be entertaining if y'all us watching back and forth and we don't get each other started? I mean, duh. That's my fun. That's my joy in this gig. What can I say? It's just fun. And what did you think of the match, Mr. Wes Lee has no charisma. Wes Lee's not believable as a champion. Wes Lee's not liked by anybody. He gets no pop whatsoever, even though last I heard he got a pop this week and last week, to the point where we couldn't hear anything that was said during a segment.
So I have to first apologize to all of the fans watching. I have to apologize to you. I have to apologize to the UPR hosts and everybody in the UPR family. And the apology is, I apologize because I'm about to do something I always chew people out for doing when they're on air, and that's I'm gonna eat, right? I just did 3 shows in a row. I'm gonna eat, all right?
You can eat, that's fine. We get it.
As far as I feel about the match, I was so happy to see the return, and I was so happy to see the man himself, Ivar. That man is so underrated in their ring. It is unbelievable. Now, granted, he didn't get a chance to be in the ring. He had to only sit there for commentary, but it was great to see him in this segment. I want to see something in Josh Briggs. I don't see it yet. Stay tuned. I'm trying to see it. I didn't see it tonight. Wes Lee is why I'm eating, because it was so boring I got dry.
And you told me not to get him started. This is why I get him started, because of stupid shit like that.
This is just what I'm talking about. So he comes on. They show this little vignette. Then he comes on. He's all crying backstage like he's been taking tips from Cody Rhodes in his absence. And like, I'm so excited to be back. Nobody cares. Nobody cared, right?
Really?
You're saying that because he had a pop in Orlando, but then that's the Performance Center. They cheer everybody. You know what I'm saying?
No, they don't.
You see this remote control? If I had this remote control come out, they'll cheer him. Look, if they were in, let's say, I don't know, what's the name of stupid city? Charlotte, North Carolina, he would not have gotten a pop. Not at all. He's making me so mad. My glasses are fogging up.
Your glasses are fogging up from the food that you're eating.
No,
and guess what? I've broken that rule once or twice on the show.
Don't delude yourself.
Anyways. So after that, post-match, Briggs and Ivar get into it because during the match, Briggs did get pushed into Ivar. And we all know what happens when that comes into play. They start fighting each other. Wes Lee jumps out from the ring and lands on both of their asses.
Who pushed him?
Wes Lee pushed Briggs into Ivar. That happened.
That's assault, and that was wrong of him to do. But he went on and he did it, and you cheer for people like that. Ivar was sitting there minding his business. He had to be collateral damage because Wes Lee is cheap.
And when a heel does it, it's not a cheating.
I haven't seen a heel do it yet.
Heels do it plenty of times, you damn liar. You've been watching wrestling longer than I have. Don't bullshit us. Anyways, after that fun that happened, we get a quick little moment.
Hold on. Let's go back to your boy, right? That should still be off my TV screen. Then he attacks them. They were having a fight, minding their business. Right? Thank you, Jeffrey. He says it for me right here.
I never said that he wasn't minding his business on commentary. I didn't say that.
So Ivar was like, oh, you ran into me. I'm going to beat your ass. So he and Josh Briggs are minding their business. They're handling it like men. You know what I'm saying? Like men. They were handling it. And then here goes Wes Lee had to hop over and attack him again. This is your boy. You like him.
Yes, I do. I liked him since he was in a tag team with his former partner who's now on TNA.
He's a jerk.
And people know I like him on the account of my profile picture on Instagram. That is still going to stay that way for a long, long time until I get somebody else that I prefer instead. Anyways.
I should be on your IG profile picture.
I will stick with my profile picture. Anyways, so after all that fun that we get and the fabulous consultants eating / bashing Wes Lee for the last 5 minutes, we get a quick little moment with Tyson, Dupont, and Tyriek. Igwe. I still have no idea how to pronounce that last name, despite hearing Alicia Taylor say it.
You don't have to know. They're not going to go far.
Well, we'll just see what happens with them. They talk to the champs to eventually get a shot at the titles. When the lovely group with the greatest name in the world said no one, the No Quarter Catch crew roll up saying they're getting ahead of themselves, that they want to get in the ring with them. They only gonna experience pain. It's wrestling. All y'all gonna experience pain. How stupid are y'all? Jeez. Who's gonna be in charge of y'all now that your supposed leader is not available at the moment? What are we gonna do about that?
We were backstage with the Bloodpool Combat Club, and you're saying that which one are the tag team champs? That's Axiom and Nathan Frazier, right?
Yes.
Why are they champs?
Because they beat the former champs to win.
Yeah, but they don't look like a good tag team to me.
Well, it's what happened. They became the new tag champs.
But you have Malik Blade and Idris
and Nofe, and they are a tag team that have been around for a while. I said it, you said it, they should be tag champions. I agree. They only got put together because of the whole Nathan said if they lose this match to have the belts, they ain't gonna be champions no more. And they became champions because Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker got called up to the main roster.
Okay.
And segment was fine. It did what it needed to do. We're just going to see what happens.
Did the segment end?
Yes, the segment ended.
Then you're right. It did exactly what it needed to do.
Exactly. I'm not saying it was a great segment. I'm not going to say it was the worst segment we've ever seen. You've seen worse ones. Like when Bailey and Alexis try to recreate that old segment from way back in the day. Like,
Bailey, this is your life.
Anyways, we had a little squash match basically with Carmen Petrovic, with the returning two-time dominance longest women's champion down there, and Shayna Baszler, which was
one of the
MMA
greatest
fighter.
NXT women's champion of all time.
Well, she is part of the only tag team that had more than 2 to 5 title defenses and can actually keep the belts.
You talking about her and
Sad.
I?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're the only team that had close to 10 title defenses, and they only had 7, which is sad. That's why people say those belts are cursed.
Well, now that Jade and Bianca have them, those titles mean a lot more than, in my opinion, possibly ever.
Well, it definitely means a lot more to people. Hashtag Black Girl Magic. Anyways, like we were saying.
All of a sudden, her
Carmen-
voice is gone.
Yes, Jeffrey. I agree.
Nobody can hear
BC agrees. They are being wasted. They should be the new champions.
Wrestling doll, darling. I don't know what happened to your mic. Nobody can hear you. You sound as silent as I don't know, LWO coming out to the arena.
Well, I don't know what you want me to do.
Nothing's there. There's nothing. Like it's dead air.
Well, I don't know what you want me to do, but guess what? I'm dealing with what I
Try
can.
to unplug it. Unplug it.
I
back in.
did.
Let's see if that works.
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay. We'll try to go all out and come back in and see if that works.
I'm falling for that. I'm not doing that.
All right. Yeah. Sometimes I can read lips. Oh, you hear her clearly? So it's me.
Yes, it's you.
Oh,
Did you turn it to Miles Bourne and all of a sudden magically can't hear
Go
nothing?
ahead. Maybe I unplugged something.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
it. He turned it to Miles Bourne. Now he can't hear me. And for those of you that are wondering why I keep saying that's because Miles Bourne
Oh yeah, that's me.
can't hear.
All right. Are you making fun of Chris? Is that what you're doing? You lucky I can't hear you. I will be right back. Stay with me. Well, stay with her. I'll be right back.
Oh, the joy that is working with the executive consultant. Ron, please come back soon. Anyways, we had a quick little match with Carmen and Shayna Baszler. They went back and forth. Basically, Shayna showing why she was one of the most dominant women's champions they had in NXT. One of the only 3 two-time women's champions that they had.
I unplugged my headphones. That's so embarrassing. Oh my god. All right. We were talking about Wes Lee being terrible. What were we talking about?
No, we were talking about Carmen versus Shayna, which is basically a squash match for Shayna to show why she was one of the most dominant women's champions that they had in NXT. Which I can agree. Her match with Rhea is why I became a Rhea Ripley fan. So nobody can say that I've just started jumping on the Rhea Ripley train. I've been on that Rhea Ripley train since 2021.
Nobody cares about Rhea Ripley. Hey, who did Shayna Baszler face? What was her name?
Carmen Petrovic.
So she had that interesting intro that people kept talking about online.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Yes, with the swords gives Kill Bill inspiration, basically.
But terrible movie. But the
I haven't
important
seen it,
part
so I
about
can't
it
say.
is, did you see Natalya? 2 reasons why the entrance was good.
Are the 2 reasons Natalya Neidhart?
No. But
Then
I'll
what
give you a
was
hint. They were on Natalya Neidhart. She had 2 good things spoken out during her.
My Lord Almighty.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you and several hundred other people in this world.
I mean, how can you miss it? She highlights them.
Hey, if you got it, flaunt it. You paid your money for it, show it off. Why not?
You know, she definitely showed them.
There's a good number of the women on the roster show those off when they get them done. Anyways. So we get a video package breaking down the new women's mid-card title that they have in the Women's North American Championship, which I'm still very happy because I've been saying for the last year and some change, they need a mid-card title for the women so they have something else to fight for besides the singular title that they had since they took the tag belts from NXT to SmackDown to get unified with the tag team champions they had up there, and it had turned into squats until Bianca and Jade won the belts. And before, when the Blue Warriors did have the belts.
From Backlash, I might add.
I am saying those 2 teams did make the belts mean something in the last year and some change.
Okay.
But anyways, we had the lovely match, and I say lovely with all the love in the world, of the No Quarter Catch crew. Greatest name ever.
Can I also focus on the fact that Lola Vice was out there, right, with Shayna Baszler?
You can go ahead and focus. You sound like Dice right now, but go ahead.
I will say, Dice, if you are watching or you watch this another time, I apologize. I still don't think she looks better than Jakara Jackson. But Lola, you know, her little dancing kind of made me a fan. Just saying. You were saying, Wrestling Doll?
Well, Cubans definitely do know how to shake their hips and use them. Anyways, we had the No Quarter Catch crew versus Tyriek. I'm ignoring what you just said. A, because I couldn't hear it because I was talking, and B, because I can't. Anyways, No Quarter Catch crew versus Tyriek and Tyson. The match hadn't even started yet. Both teams were in the ring, and we were informed from Alicia Taylor that the scheduled referee was unavailable. And when she said that, we looked at the camera pointing to Luca Crucifino, which can only mean he obviously had something to do with it. It did mean something, but like I said, in the last year and some change.
And Sasha Banks and Naomi too. It just doesn't last long. Well, I would say the most popular or the biggest frame when they were the tag team titles, the women tag team titles meant something was twice. One is when Asuka and Kairi, I believe, had it, because was it Asuka and Kairi saying? The only reason I'm going to say this is because there was one time with the WWE, and this is a fun fact, a lot of people don't remember this. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championships actually main evented a PLE. It was a TLC. And it was, I believe it was Becky and Charlotte versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. And that was the headlining match for that pay-per-view. So that made it mean something. And the other time I'll say is when Sasha and Bayley had the tag team championship, but they also had their individual women's championships. And I just, because they were doing such a good job as the women's tag team champions, that they, it's just, they were on Raw, they were on SmackDown, they were on NXT, they were everywhere. So shout out to them for that. This gentleman wants to know that you have nice hair, and apparently he does not see Chris, but that's fine. You know, it's fine.
He always tells me I have nice hair, and I appreciate the compliment.
It's nice to have a fan.
You have plenty of fans, and you did before I did.
I have a fan that's above my head. It's called a ceiling fan.
Anyways, like I was saying, the referee was unavailable, so in comes Channing Stacks Lorenzo to be the special guest referee, who made sure he did a very thorough job of what he was doing, and also to screw over the No Quarter Catch crew, because everybody knows that the family is going to keep playing with them like the little chew toys, like they going to act like, well, the family acts like they the big bad dogs in the house. And yes, I say that knowing that I made a somewhat Roman Reigns big dog reference, and both dog reference of Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker. I don't care.
So you condone this too, huh?
I'm not saying I condone it. I'm just saying that shit happened. He acted like he was doing it thoroughly, and then he basically did the spot that some guest referees do, which is do the slow 3 count, and then once they punch the person, they do the fast count so that the other person can win.
Why are you so biased?
Do I prove it? I'm not saying I do.
Why are you so biased?
I'm not being biased.
I see you on the show. You and Bad Guy Jack. I seen you on the show. You sit here, and if somebody you don't like, you're ripping into them of how bad it is, that they're doing something, but you're not speaking up over the fact that these people were wronging the other team. And you should shame them for that. Just give them some shame.
I can give shame to whoever I please. I don't like the No Quarter Catch crew any more than the family dislikes them. Does that mean I condone what Chance Stacks did? No. I'm just saying it happened.
Shame
That's all I'm saying.
Shame on them.
Listen, you know, and I know that Stacks, before he got signed, was one of the best heel wrestlers in the indie scene. So basically, it's a little bit of that, basically.
Can we just talk about
how
sad it is? Okay. She's definitely acting biased.
I can be whoever I please. And if I act like Booker T, so be it.
Okay, can we not gas her up? Like, her ego is already out there.
My ego? What about yours? Your ego is all the way to Pluto, and Pluto's not even a planet, considered a planet no more.
Pluto is a planet. I don't care what they say. I
said it's not considered a planet anymore. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't submit to that. You know, stay woke. They don't want Pluto to be a planet. But look, here's my thing. Your ego's big.
So is yours. Yours is 10 times bigger.
No, just my ears and my nose.
And your ego. Anyways, after all that insanity happens, we get a backstage. Ariana Grace is happy to see Cheslea Green, which of course she is because they're somewhat similar. While Gigi is sitting awkwardly, like if you're at a family party or family gathering or family reunion and you're sitting in between the two people that you don't like that have very similar personalities, like, oh, I hate this. This is so bad. So Gigi snaps when they're blowing kisses with each other, and she's saying that she's done with all this, which she hadn't really done too much of what Ariana has been insisting that she does, been putting her own way into her own thing into it.
I would be fine with this so she can leave Piper Niven alone.
But Piper likes being with Chelsea because they liked making Adam Pearce's life miserable on Raw, and now they're going to attempt to make Nick Aldis's life miserable on SmackDown, which everybody knows ain't going to happen because that man don't take no crap from nobody.
Chelsea Green is fine. Piper Niven is a great talent. Together, not so good. I want Piper Niven away from Chelsea Green.
Well, if they do something with that, we'll just see what happens. Anyways, after all this, Roxanne's interviewed at backstage. She says that it isn't about Ava Raine. It isn't about Cheslea Green. It's about her being the face of the brand, the main event, and the prodigy that she is. And then after that, we get the match of Mitch and Mia Yim versus Ariana Grace, which was it was a good match. Am I going to say it was a great match? No. But I'm not going to say it's a bad match. I enjoyed watching Mia Yim in the ring. So I was happy to see her back at NXT, just like I was happy to see her gain the victory over Ariana Grace with the soul food, which I thought was a funny play on words. Which obviously they can't call it by the name that it was because it was used by someone else, and that someone else, once upon a time, was disliked by the former head of the company. And I don't know if they're going to ever bring that name up again, but I don't care for the name, but I didn't care for the first name either, so I really don't care what they call that move, but I didn't mind the match. Yes, that one.
What's wrong
just spelled differently.
What's wrong with saying eat defeat?
Yes, because that's the former name of the move.
That's the best name. Look. It was okay. I think Meech is a very good talent. I think Ariana Grace is a good character. Yeah.
Listen, it happens. Some people just aren't for everybody. And I agree. Ariana Grace is a better character worker versus how she is doing her in-ring work now.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I saw her twice in the Indies. I prefer her work in those indie matches that I saw her in versus what she's doing now in the ring. But it's all part of character work, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I personally just don't care for it too much myself either.
No, I mean, she's okay. Like I said, it's not bad. Just, you can take it. Protect your neck.
That I like a little more.
Eat defeat's better.
Well, we all have our opinions.
So I did see, the funny part about it, I did see Meechin pick up her first victory in the 21st century.
It is one of her first victories. Yes, I will agree on that. As much as you love to roast everybody that is utilized as a jobber in the last 5 years. Anyways, yes, you do. You look at me like I'm lying, but you do like roasting everybody that gets utilized either as a jobber or someone that you just have no interest in.
I said nothing about Natalya.
You said something, but I'm not going to bring that back up. So anyways, we get a quick little hype reel from WrestleMania in Las Vegas next year, which, depending on how it works as far as like money and with work, I might just end up either staying at home by myself and watching it, or probably find some people to watch it with, because it's more fun watching with people.
I will definitely be in Las Vegas.
Surprising nobody. So we get Thea Hale chatting with Ridge Holland, of all people, backstage. The man who can't even stay retired longer than 72 hours, apparently. So he tries to talk to her seriously about bleeding the anger off constructively, but she pops off at him, and he tells her he hopes his daughter turns out just like her. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. I call
Is he
it
trying to be like Deadpool or something, trying to be like an anti-hero? What is going on here? He acts like a villain one week, and then he tries to act somewhat face like the next. What is he trying to do?
Creep me out.
If he's trying to figure himself out, he better figure himself out soon before he gets let go quicker than Gable Stevenson did. Just like when he was doing them house shows trying to figure out if he's better as a face or a heel. Now we'll never know because his ass got let go. Which, frankly, I'm not surprised at because the man was boring, and his match with Merrick Corbin was one of the worst things I'd seen.
Yeah, it sounds like Wes Lee to me too. You are right. We don't care about Ridge Holland. I want to like him. Nice guy in person, but not interesting.
A lot of these people are nice in person, which makes it even more enjoyable to watch. But Chase U rolls up afterwards, and Lexis King, who complains about this being like some terrible Lifetime movie, Rich steps up to him. But Duke says he's got this, and he gets some jabs in to Lexis says that he just pissed him off, and then he leaves.
Automatically knew that was going to be an L.
Well, I mean, what can we say? It's Lexis King.
Yeah, you seem to really be a fan of his.
He's all right. I just want him to improve so that way I can like him somewhat in this program. I just wish he'd go back to wrestling how he did, just like when he was back in the AEW, because that's where I liked him, despite that horrible ass mullet he had.
You mean when nobody was watching him?
Yes, when nobody was watching him. Anyways, ignoring all that, we are now going to get into something that you enjoy, the metaphor in the ring for their Supernova sessions.
I have been waiting for this.
You and everybody's mama have been waiting for this.
I have endured Wes Lee on the screen.
It was only on the screen for like 20-some minutes.
Endured the no catch Republic, where the hell their names is on the screen.
No quarter catch crew, don't mix them up with Pete.
Endured two people whose name I can't pronounce on the screen. I have endured a non-interesting match between Ariana and Mia Yim. I have endured for this moment, the best moment, the best segment of one NXT.
Why are you acting like you're on the Shawshank Redemption?
Ladies and gentlemen,
so
before this show started in our chat, I gave this young lady, the wrestling doll, a choice of 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 graphics to put up as the thumbnail. She chose this.
Because I can't.
She said, and she can't, it's her show. But when she said, shocked no one. You're damn right, shocked no one.
I don't care.
But I gave her so many good options.
You didn't give me the metaphor.
I gave you this. You know, Mr. North America champion that can point. I gave you this. Right?
Yeah, but you thought the match with Ariana was boring.
But I didn't say the segment between them was boring. I said I'd rather see them together than Chelsea and Piper. I also was going to give you this because this is what should be the graphic for NXT each and every single week because you always want to go with your best thing that happened on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, the best thing that happened on the show was an appearance by Jakara Harris. Right? You agree, right? But if you weren't going to be put her on the screen and you were going to be a hater because you're a hater, then you could have put this. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Noam Dar should be your next NXT champion.
Jeffrey, can you go outside and check if Help Bros are? Because this one just said Noam Dar should be the new NXT champion. Are you out of your damn mind? This is a chicken shit champion times 20 million.
What are you talking about? The way how is he a chicken shit? He knocked out Trick, Willie, Dilly, Wonka, cold.
I don't give a damn if he knocked his ass out cold. If he had that belt, he would be worse than Tiffany Stratton when she was champion. And you want to know how? Because instead of just tapping out all the damn time and the ref not seeing it or being lucky and he was distracted, he'll have 3 lackeys to help him out all the damn time to ensure that he gets to keep the belt with interference. I'm sick and tired of seeing a champion like that all the damn time. Noam Dar is champion. You know what I sound like? I sound like you if I were to suggest that Ricochet be the new face of WWE.
Why would you do that? We want to
see exactly. That's my point.
This segment was fantastic.
This segment was like an episode of Jerry Springer, may he rest in peace.
Well, they did chant Jerry, but
yeah,
this episode was fantastic, and everybody liked it. They weren't talking about Wes Lee. You know what they were talking about? They were talking about this segment, including Sexy Red herself. Of course, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Talking about better watch their back. But bottom line is, she knows what time it is. It's about Noam Dar, your new NXT champion. It's happening. Prepare. Be ready. I'll be on that episode. I want to book myself to be on the episode because I'm going to celebrate Noam Dar bringing that championship home to Jakara Harris and the rest of Metaphor.
Okay, now I just went deaf because all I heard was some utter bullshit being spewed into my ears.
Exactly. We want Jakara. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Leave it up there. You know what you're talking about. Ding dong, wrong, Chris. Charmaine.
You are wrong because that is the worst idea you ever suggested.
In your little power suit, you put a little lipstick on, and you think you come in here and spew that nonsense, that Waka Flocka. But I'm not spewing Waka Flocka. I'm telling the truth.
Even think so, and he agrees with you most of the time.
He don't know what he's talking about. Look, Tiffany Stratton was good as NXT Women's Champion. That's right. You know why?
Tapping out. She was good at Tiffy tapping.
That's what I'm talking about. You being a hater. Sabrina don't want to relive the bloodline when Roman was there.
Sexy I don't want to relive all the buffoonery that happened when he was there, but now everybody wants him back because Solo Sikoa is trying to take over. Listen,
we want Roman.
Roman Reigns named that man the Tribal Air. What y'all expect?
We want Roman. Now
y'all being fickle. Y'all were booing Roman at WrestleMania when he was doing anything and everything to keep his belt. And now all of a sudden he's gone for 3 days. And now all of a sudden y'all magically want him back after Solo's trying to do his thing. Guess what? He will come back eventually. And guess what? He's going to fight Solo Sikoa and whoop his ass.
So you want Roman back?
I'm not saying I want him back. I want him to recover. Then I want the storyline to progress.
Recover from what? He's not injured.
He's in pain.
Pain from what?
Leukemia.
He's always has leukemia. He
is in pain from it. So let the man recover. You sound like Ron. My God.
Chris says it's not going to happen. Charmaine wants Roman. But I think Charmaine wants Roman like I want Jakara.
Anyways, the segment goes back and forth. Lash is ready to reveal what was in the envelope, which basically turns into an episode of Maury showing whether or not you are the father, which Trick did call back to when everybody was chanting Trick Daddy in the audience last week. Be like, by the way, I ain't the daddy, but
You know, Lash is looking pretty scrumptious lately too.
Anyways, the pictures was Noam Dar's foot under the ropes when
it's enough for Chris to go around.
Listen, if he could, he would take the 2 to 3 women that he has crushes on in the WWE, take them to a place where polygamy is legal, and have a sister wife thing going on.
I'll just change their names to, instead of Jade, Jakar, and Samantha, to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Anyways, so basically, when the whole thing with the picture came out, Noam Dar's like, oh, the title reign is fraudulent as a result. Well, Trick Williams doesn't give a damn and says if all he wanted was a title match, all you have to do is ask, and he'll smack the bun off his damn head. And he says he ain't ready to be on, he's not here to be on worried that he's not the daddy. And the rest of the metaphor are confused, like, what's going on? And he asks Lash if she wants to tell him or if he should. She's freaking out. He's saying there ain't nothing to be scared of, and you should tell the people that you call me Trick Willy Wonka. And she said it ain't the time or place for it.
That was such a boring movie.
Which version of it? Because they made 3 renditions of Willy
I
Wonka.
did like Charlie and the Chocolate. Is that the one with Johnny Depp? That was a little darker. I did kind of like that one because he was carrying the hell out of them kids. But really,
it's a Tim Burton version of the movie, so of course. And then you had the one from 1970 with Jim Wilder, and then we had the Wonka movie, which is supposed to be a prequel with
breaking news. I know why Trick is calling himself Willy Wonka. Because in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka had helpers, much like I'm sure Trick Daddy does if he wants to be the father, called Oompa Loompas. Trick Daddy's probably working on the Oompa Loompa, which is why he's not the father.
Anyways, Trick
You're
gets
welcome.
hit with the forearm by
or until we meet again.
We get that, then we basically get another video talking about the new mid-card title for the women, the North American Championship.
Did we just gloss over the fact that Noam Dar held up that championship like it was his?
Yes, because it's not his, and it won't be his until Trick Williams gets called up to the main roster one of these days, which won't be for a hot minute.
I think it will happen next week.
Ain't gonna fucking happen because nobody wants that but you.
Anyways,
that
is not true. No, there are a lot of us Noam Dar and Metaphor fans out there. You hope you know that. Just because you want
Metaphor, I can understand, but Noam Dar is a champion. When pigs fly.
Yet you want to see Wes Lee fly.
I always enjoy seeing Wes Lee fly in and out.
I would enjoy seeing.
He ain't no damn pig though.
I will enjoy seeing Wes Lee fly right into TNA.
He's still popping enough to where is good to be utilized in NXT. So he ain't going to TNA no time soon.
NXT, your ceiling should not be NXT. Your ceiling should be Raw and or SmackDown. And he can't survive on SmackDown and or Raw. He can only survive in a little bit of NXT because a whole bunch of hillbillies like him each and every single week. So they can be like, this.
And few of those hillbillies that are there are people that you know. So.
What does that mean to me?
That you're friends with some of the hillbillies.
I agree. We all make mistakes.
Anyways, the Natalia
You
Carmen
suck.
were
Don't ever say Tiffany sucks again. What time is it? Is your watch broke?
Chelsea Green don't suck though. I love me some Chelsea Green.
Nah, send it to me, Jeff. Only like Lash Legend and Metaphor. I like.
For me, my pick in Metaphor is Oro Mensah because he is a talented man and he should stop being used as their punching bag.
Oro Mensah is he's warmed up to me as well. But Lash Legend, who still needs a little bit of fine tuning, is going to be a force on SmackDown and Raw. Wes Lee will be a force in TNA.
And speaking of a force to be reckoned with, we have the newly changed Fallon Henley going up against her former friend in Kaylani Jordan.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Anyways. See, that's how I know you're not sorry, because I knew you were going to do that.
It was the slip of the wrist. Sorry.
No, it wasn't. Anyways, they have their back and forth. Fallon Fallon is definitely being a little bit more aggressive than she was before in her wrestling. Definitely trying to stick it to Kehlani big time. Which Fallon was in control for the most part. With the big arm drag, Cobra Clutch, the kick, the overdrive. It was just a back and forth. She does throw a gallon throw onto Kehlani Jordan into the steel with her off the ropes, and she wins, and Fallon Henley wins via pinfall with a running knee. Which I think it was the better of the non-women's title matches that happened tonight. So I had no problem with it. What do you have to say about Fallon's newfound? I'm focusing on me and not nobody else.
I think she did a very good job of staying off my screen when Jakar Jackson was on. But besides that, no, on a completely serious tip, I think Fallon Henley is finding herself, and I think this is the correct gimmick for her to go, or direction for her to go, in order to make a name for herself. The problem that NXT has is they have too many generic people. And I realize that every time I turn on NXT and I see the same scene over and over. Every single time I turn on NXT, which, I'll sit here and I'll tell you the truth and I'll admit it. I don't watch NXT every week. There's too much wrestling. But when I do watch, I always see every episode a scene where 15 women are in backstage locker room and they have an argument. And I always look at them and I say, I know this one. Who the hell's this? Who the hell's this? Who the hell's this? They all look alike. They all sound alike. They're always doing their own dramatic shit. You need something that's going to make you stand out. That's why I like Metaphor so much. That's why I like Jakar Jackson, besides the fact she's beautiful and she accepted my marriage proposal. And Lash Legend, who's a huge person, they stand out. What's the young lady that just got called up to, I think, was it SmackDown? Not Blair Davenport, the other one.
Lyra Valkyria?
No. God, no. I don't know why she got called up, but that was a favorite of Becky. No, there's
the only other one that got called up from NXT as far as the women was Kiana James, and she got called up to Raw.
There you go. So she got called up to Raw. Kiana James, in my opinion, was generic looking, and she found a way to make herself stand out. She created a character, and it worked very well for her. Now, JC Jane, who they showed a picture of her today, she never looked better. But JC Jane had a protege, right?
She still does have a protege. Her name is Jasmine Nix.
Right. Generic.
Well, that's why they paired her with her to give her a little push or something. That's why they paired Izzy Dane with Kiana to have a little something, to give her a little push, which I think Izzy Dane is very generic despite how
and you're right.
She is.
You're right, and that's the problem. But like I said, especially with the women, they need something to make them stand out. Why has what's her face not succeeded? Even though she just won her match last night. Who did she beat? Because the match was really boring. It was actually one of the worst matches on Raw. No, it wasn't Lyra. It was I can't remember her name. Zoe Stark.
She beat Ivy Nile for the Queen of the Ring tournament.
Last night on Monday Night Raw, I felt like that show did very well because they had a lot of good matches. Very, very good matches. But one of the matches I said was just not good at all. And it didn't belong because it was really bad. That match was Ivy Nile versus
Zoe Stark.
Zoe Stark needed more time with Trish Stratus. I thought that's what was going to get her over. I think she's a solid talent, but outside of that, she doesn't have anything that's going to define her character. Trish Stratus was doing that for her, but then Trish, for whatever reason, they decided to end it early. Maybe not early. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be that long in the first place, but she has suffered since then. They paired her with Shayna. The problem is Shayna is a killing machine, and she has not been able to translate well on the main roster because she doesn't have the charisma. I love Shayna Baszler. She's like my favorite women's wrestler from NXT, period. But she doesn't do well on Raw and SmackDown because they can't give her that charisma that she needs. Pairing her with Zoe Stark, they're too generic. That's why they're never going to do anything really big. I would like to see Zoe Stark succeed. But the bottom line is she got called up too early. They looked at the fact that she's very good in the ring because she is. Ivy now, you probably should get back sent to NXT.
I've seen the in-ring work of Ivy now. She is very good in that ring.
Ivy now?
Her match with Rhea Ripley when they gave it to her to try to go for the belt. I enjoy watching her in that ring.
Was okay, but that was probably because it was Rhea Ripley. I think Ivy now needs some more training.
She does.
Zoe has no charisma. None. Zero.
I feel like she had slightly more charisma when she was working with Saray when she was still in the product.
Wrestling Doll's hair has more charisma.
I don't know if that was a serious compliment or if you were just giving me a backhanded one.
No, seriously, your hair got like 2 compliments in this whole show. That's more than Zoe Stark will ever get. Ivy now should be taken seriously. She has something. I agree, but I just think she needs more training, more seasoning.
Yes. So after that match, No Quitter Catch Crew cuts a promo. Charlie says that Tony D wants a Heritage Cup match. He'll get it under the catch clause, which is basically they pick whoever the 3 of them will fight for it next week, which it's a whatever rule. I honestly don't care for it. So we get after the commercial break that happens, Ava Raine is interviewed backstage to announce the women who are advancing out of the combine for the Women's North American Championship.
So, what do you think of before you start? Because I'm really curious about your opinion. What do you think about Ava Raine?
I think that she is a decent talker. Is she at the same level as her father? Absolutely not. She has a long way to go for that. Did she have good in-ring work? She needed a lot more work on that. I don't know what happened with the training in the back, but because they had her working with Shawn Michaels so much, they're like, let's just make her GM, keep her out of the ring for a while. Maybe have to do some training behind the scenes kind of thing. I don't know. But
is she doing it for you as the general manager?
Not at the moment. I think she could do better. I feel like maybe she should watch some stuff from like what Paige would do back in the day, or I don't know, like somebody like, I don't know, just maybe look into her because Paige had charisma.
Paige has a lot of charisma. Here's my problem with Ava Raine. She's been training for quite some time. There have been people who have come after her. There have been people who have been promoted since. Ava Raine has barely improved. And if she was not the daughter of One Rock, she would have been one of the ones released a couple days ago.
Or beforehand.
That's how bad she is. I'm going to give you a compliment, Sabrina. Be prepared. Calyptus. Can you read that?
Well. Mr. Oh, look who's stupid. She picked Sol Ruka as her overall first draft in the NXT. And look who has the highest overall in that list.
So I said I was going to give you a compliment.
I can say what I want.
I'm not going to give you a compliment because of that. I'm not going to give you a compliment anymore because you are so ungracious with that. It's so egotistical, you hater, that you could not even just let me give you the freaking compliment. You had to go pat yourself on the back, Barry Horowitz.
I can pat myself on the back as much as I want.
Yes, I know. But the thing is, because you did it, now you get no compliment from the executive consultant. Take that in your pipe and smoke it. No, you can't.
Anyways. The following 12 women have been selected to be in the qualifying matches for the NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match at Battleground. Number 1, Sol Ruka, Thea Hale, Jada Parker, Brinley Reese, Mitch and Mia Yim, Fallon Henley, Lash Legend, Ivy Nile will be coming back from Raw, Izzy Dane, Kaylani Jordan, Tatum Paxley, and Miss Ren Sinclair.
This is so stupid.
And why is that?
Because 1, Misha is a SmackDown wrestler, and 2, Ivy Nile is a Raw wrestler. They shouldn't even be in the running for this. Makes no sense.
Maybe they wanted to bring a couple people down from the main roster to make these younger talents look good.
No sense.
Moving on from the list. Yes, I didn't give him the chance, but hey, I just felt happy that she was the number 1 overall on there. And this one said, like I said the thing about her on our draft.
I said there's no reason why you gave her. First of all, you sat in with the Raw and SmackDown, And we thought they were going to respect NXT in the draft. They didn't.
And they only drafted 6 people for the SmackDown to the Raw.
And they didn't
draft.
We were under the impression they were going to draft some wrestlers to NXT. They were going to give them some respect. They didn't even draft anybody to NXT. They just took them. Like, okay, we're going to take you. We're going to take you. We're going to throw you a bone, right? We need a jobber. Hey, let's break up Blair Davenport. Because Blair Davenport is just a jobber.
Well, I figured maybe they decided to keep some of the people there because if they did, then probably nobody would watch NXT anymore because of.
They need somebody to take L's. Look at Mello. Mello's there to take L's.
Did you say Mello is going to be a jobber in SmackDown?
Would you like proof? His first match is against who? Cody Rhodes. What did happen? He lost. His next feud looks like it's going to be against who? Did you see it?
Tell me.
Bobby Lashley. You think he's beating Bobby Lashley? No, he's taking that out.
Well, we'll just
Blair
see
Davenport
what
is not a
Friday.
jobber in NXT. Blair Davenport will be a jobber on Monday Night Raw. Do you think she's really going out there and beating some freaking Becky Lynch? You lost your mind. She's going to be a jobber.
Well, even the greats don't win in their debuts. That's all I'm going to say.
So one of the best matches of last night, if not the best match of last night, was your boy Ricochet versus none other than Dragunov.
And Ilya Dragunov.
And yes. Dragunov won.
Yes.
Why? Because Dragunov is not going to be a jobber.
Well,
they're giving
we'll
you the
see
context.
What happens to Ricochet because I saw the little thing they did.
Why isn't Braun Breaker out there wrestling more? Because he's not going to be a jobber, and they have nobody for him to take. They have nobody to take L's to him right now. That's what it is. WWE's been doing the same. Just because Vince is gone doesn't mean the formula changes. It's the same shit. Braun is going to be a star. They want Braun to be a star, so he can't go out there and squash everybody, but he can't go out there and have all these people take L's because you don't want to make anybody else look weak. That's why Braun's not on. Blair Davenport is going to Raw, whatever, SmackDown, Raw. When she goes to SmackDown, she's even more screwed if she's on Raw. SmackDown has all the women talent. She got Nia Jax on there. She got Bianca Belair on there. You got Jade Harris on there. You got freaking Bailey on there. Naomi, Tiffy Time. You think Blair Davenport's there to take some W's? No, she's there to take an L. You might as well take the B out of her name and call her Blair Davenport because she's taking L's.
Well, I was also going to say they want to make Braun Breaker look strong on the account of who his family is, but
no, but it's not as bad as Rock's daughter.
I never said it was bad. I'm just saying they're trying to make him look strong too on the account of who his family is as well.
No, I don't think his family has anything to do with it. I think Braun Breaker's just that good of a talent.
He is. I will not disagree on that.
And he's from NXT. And you picked Sol Ruca over him.
I was thinking of drafting my picks as people who needed development work and people who can make the brand look good.
You feel me,
Not
Jeffrey?
by picking everybody from Raw and SmackDown all the damn time.
Anybody who thinks Blair Davenport is going to do something special in the next year needs to have their head examined. That SmackDown women's roster.
He said that she can wrestle Candice. The problem with that, Jeffrey, Candice is a heel now. So is Blair Davenport.
I was so happy that Candice LeRae got drafted to SmackDown. Let me tell you, right? Because
you didn't want to see her on Raw anymore.
If she and Indy Hartwell faced fucking Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree one more damn time, I was gonna pull that little hair I have left. Like I did not want. Oh my God, I did not want to see them. I was like, how many times do we have to see this? They come out there for one segment with no commercial break, and oh my, I was so thankful. The only problem is it made us get the DX or Regeneration X with Ciampa and 205 Live guy. Oh, so you want to know something funny? You want to hear something funny? So when they showed that video package for Trick Williams, right? They showed the crowd and they showed him walking up to Johnny 205 Live, and Johnny 205 Live shook his hand, and I couldn't tell it was a wrestler in the crowd. I thought he was actually a fan until I paid attention to it again.
So we had a squash match with Lexis King versus Duke Hudson, which went on for like 2 minutes, and he won by pinfall with his signature finisher coronation. Which really, y'all gonna make Duke cuts and lose to one of the biggest jobbers they have in there right now, and Lexis King. Don't try to make him look strong.
He should be in the King.
That man could have looked strong if I were standing next to him, and if I were as thin as a twig.
I want Blair Davenport versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship. Does Chris usually make jokes?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, well, he is a funny guy. Apparently, he wants them to bring back WWE superstars and have that match on it because Blair Davenport versus Bayley. First of all, Blair Davenport, her best chance of being in a WWE Women's Championship match is if you start playing WWE 2K25. It's just not happening.
Well, it is what it is. Some people have their opinions of who they want to go out to the women's champion, but we'll see what happens.
Who do you want to see go after the WWE Women's Championship?
Why not have Bayley versus Nia? See how that goes.
Nia's going to be your new champ. New champ. And you know what? She deserves it. She deserved the World Women's Championship. They screwed her out of that, but that's fine. Get that to live. WWE Women's Champion needs to be Nia Jax. Or Tiffany time.
Well, we'll just see what happens. Anyways.
What is your problem with Tiffany time?
The fact that when she was champion, she kept tapping out every single damn time, or the ref was just lucky. She was just lucky the ref never saw her tap out or get distracted. That's so boring as a champion to me.
That just shows her veteran instincts as somebody who hasn't been in business that long. She knew what she was doing. She executed well, and that's why she was a champion. She was a good champion before Becky Lynch came and screwed her out of the championship. Great champion.
Well, that match with Becky is what made people pay attention to her and realize, oh, she's ready for the main roster.
That's not what made people pay attention to Tiffany time.
To some people, yes.
No, most
even
people.
Even Tiffany thought so.
The reason people pay attention to Tiffany is the same reason people pay attention to Talia when she came out to NXT tonight.
So the metaphor of being interviewed trying to walk out of the building, they don't want to talk to nobody. Javon Evans rolled up to them. The Gnomdar threatens him on their way out. Meanwhile, Chelsea Green runs into Robert Stone on her way through the arena, and they cut to a commercial break. And then after that break is over, Jasmine Nix cuts a promo on Thea Hale for breaking JC Jane's nose and saying she should be suspended
Never looked better.
Or fined for it. I'm ignoring that comment. That even though I'm not a fan of what JC does now, I don't think she looks better with a broken nose. And it's not going to have the Becky Lynch effect to where she's more popular than ever because now
no. But I would say this: JC Jane, when she does get called up to the main roster, she has a chance.
So you would like to see Bayley versus JC Jane for the championship?
I think eventually, I mean, not this year, but eventually I see that being a stronger possibility because, like I said earlier, JC Jane is a character. She knows how to do character work very well, so she can stand out.
Is that why you made the face that you did when I drafted her in our mock draft?
I made the face because you left a lot of people on the table that I felt like you should have grabbed. Like, for instance, you picked Sol Ruka #1 when Braun Breaker was out there. I understand your loyalty to NXT. It makes sense. I respect you for that. But Sol Ruka?
And look who was #1 on the list for the North American Championship that they're having for the women.
Who was your #1 overall draft pick?
Sol Ruka, and I will keep saying
No, not yours. Who was in real life the #1 overall draft pick?
I don't remember.
Disrespectful. You're very disrespectful.
I don't remember. A lot's happened.
It was the EST of the WWE. And who picked them as their #1 draft pick? This guy. But did you see me rubbing it all in your face? Right on there?
We're not talking about the draft. We're talking about NXT.
You see me rubbing it right in there? Yeah,
I didn't pick who I picked on that draft for loyalties. I picked based because I was thinking it's a development brand. So I picked people who would fit there. I didn't want to pick people who were already way past that.
The EST of WWE.
Bianca was in NXT and got called up.
Everybody was in
She doesn't need to go back. That's why
she's too big for NXT.
I picked about 19.
She wouldn't even look right. She wouldn't even look right coming out there.
Hence why I didn't pick her on my draft because she is far beyond needing NXT. Anyways, after all the shenanigans happen backstage, we get Chase U. They're mad backstage. Rich Holland comes up to apologize for costing the match, which I think is a damn lie and a half because Rich Holland don't mean nothing that he says anymore.
Where's the fridge?
Says, I apologize for costing you the match and getting involved in your business. Duke Hudson says, if you buy us dinner, then we're even. But Riley Osborne ain't buying it, and frankly, neither am I. And a good number of the NXT universe isn't buying it either.
Chase University is...
And Rich Holland says he'll do whatever it takes to earn their trust and respect. Boy, I wouldn't be able to trust and respect you with how far I could throw you, and with how tiny I am, I can't throw none of them people. So that means I don't trust you for...
You could probably throw Johnny.
Rockashite.
Chase University will never be on SmackDown Raw.
And you never know.
No, because Chase, whatever his name is, it's not a main roster.
Andre Chase.
Yeah, not a main event talent, not a Raw SmackDown talent. Duke Hudson can go. Duke Hudson has the look. Duke Hudson has great wrestling ability. He can have potential charisma. He will have to change up his gimmick a lot, but Duke Hudson can go. Andre Chase will never make it.
What about
Thea Hale? Thea Hale is a star that people should look out for.
Raw or SmackDown?
If I were to draft her now, I would put her on Raw. Raw needs some talent. Raw does not have that many women talent compared to SmackDown. Women's roster is loaded, my dear. Loaded. They have arguably the best roster in WWE. In wrestling as far as women. In my opinion, SmackDown does. Raw, far cry below.
Jeffrey said I could throw Thea. No, I can't. That would, despite me probably being maybe an inch or two taller than her, she could throw me.
Thea definitely can throw Barbara because Thea is a strong woman. You can see Thea's cut. For a young lady, she's really.
Did you
cut.
not see the segment that she did with JCJ when doing their shopping and she was trying on clothes? That woman has a six-pack. I don't have that, and I don't have any muscle on me to be able to throw that woman.
Thea could be next ex-Mrs. Harris, except for she's just too young. She's like 20 years old.
Oh, she is young, and she's currently with one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions in Nathan Frazier.
Oh, they're involved in real life?
Yes, they've been involved in real life for a while now.
Did not know that. For a while. She's only 20. What kind of pedophile stuff is that?
She got in the company when she was like 18 or 19 years old.
So
technically, she's a legal adult.
Yeah, but you said for a while, so maybe she was 16 when they got together,
No, not to my knowledge. A lot of these people, when they get together, it's because they're in that place all the time.
No, you're absolutely 100% right. You'd be surprised who's been hooking up with who. I'm sworn to secrecy. Cool.
Anyways, we get our main events match in Roxanne Perez versus Miss Chelsea Green for the NXT Women's Championship. But I apologize for my butchering of how Samantha Irving says her name, but now we won't get that because Chelsea's on SmackDown.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's talk about this for a second because nobody cares about this main event. Mike Rome, Alicia Taylor, rumored to switch. Now, clearly, it's a rumor because it hasn't happened yet. Alicia Taylor was on NXT tonight.
Yes.
We talked about it in chat. I don't think you made a comment about it. Instead, you want to talk
about it?
No,
I didn't make a comment about it, but I have heard that she didn't want to leave the NXT brand because she's comfortable working down there. She didn't feel the need to get called up. That's what I was thinking, but I figured somebody was going to say it.
Well, I always felt that way anyway. I think somebody made a comment like, well, she trained Samantha Irvin and stuff like that. And I said, yeah. And I always believe, because she's been there for a while now, quite a while, since Mike Rome got called up. And Kayla Braxton, because Kayla Braxton was there for a cup of coffee as well. But that she, one, because she's a band, she's a lead, drummer in a band. I never thought she wanted to get called up. Mike Rome, when he got called up, I thought it was going to be temporary because he never really wanted to travel like that, but he got used to it. Do you think this? I mean, because honestly speaking, I know some people don't want to look at it, but the NXT is the distant third brand. This is technically a promotion and somewhat of a demotion for Mike Rome. Do you think this is a right move for either one of those? Are you a fan of them? I don't know who you like as a ring announcer anyway. Now, granted, I am a little biased because I do ring announce, so I pay more attention. Kind of like David. David's always talking about referees. right? Because he's a referee. But we look at him like, what the fuck? Nobody cares about the referee, right? I get sometimes, I think Mike Knox said it, nobody cares about the ring announcer. I do, because I'm a ring announcer. So I wanted your opinion, Wrestling Doll, as a woman in the business, somebody I respect, even though you have shitty taste in wrestlers. What do you think as far as that?
I personally, I like, as far as between the two of them, I don't have a problem with Mike Rome. I just like, as far as like delivery and like the tone of how important things sound when they're making the announcements for like PLEs and stuff like that. I go to Alicia Taylor more. And I'm used to her being on the NXT brand, and I've heard some of Mike Rome stuff when I would watch some of the older NXT matches online or on Peacock. But I don't know if he's fine with the traveling now that he's gotten used to it. I don't really see the need for them to switch, but if they want to call her up, it's their decision, but I don't really think they need to do it. That's just my personal opinion.
I feel like he kind of, well, you know, and I said this in the chat, I'll say it publicly. I think Mike Rome was actually really good. I think when he first got called up, it was him on Raw and Greg Hamilton on SmackDown, and I always thought Greg Hamilton was better than Mike Rome, but I thought Mike Rome was very, very good, right? Then Greg Hamilton was let go, and then Samantha Irvin came in, and it might have taken her, not long, but it might have taken her a while, but I think she's better than Mike Rome. But I like them when the PLEs to share the duties. I actually, and we know I'm a fan of Samantha Irvin, you know, should be my wife. But I wasn't happy she announced the entire WrestleMania, both nights. I felt like that was a little disrespectful for Mike Rome because I think Mike Rome is very good. I like Alicia Taylor, but I'm not the biggest fan of her work. She tries too hard to me. And thank you, Joe. I think Greg Hamilton was very underrated. I think Greg Hamilton is a top 5 ring announcer of all time. He was really, really good. But it all comes down to delivering how you project your voice, and I go to Alicia more than Mike Rome. Don't disrespect though. Okay, and yeah, I could be the minority. I could be wrong. But in my opinion, I think Mike Rome's a little better than Alicia Taylor. Alicia Taylor sometimes I feel like tries too hard.
Well, we all have our opinions and how we feel about certain things, which is why we're on products like this where we get to talk about them. And even though this doesn't want to talk about it because he felt like this one was basically
I wanted to talk about the thing while I was remembering it. But we can talk about it because I do like Roxanne Perez now. It took me a while, but I like Roxanne Perez.
Did you like her before or after she became a heel?
I didn't know she ever was anything better what she's in right now, which is a confident young lady. Who's your champion?
I don't have anything to say about that because I did like her when she came in. I think this is her being the
JoJo sucks. I hated JoJo. Couldn't stand JoJo.
I mean, I remember I didn't know that JoJo did ring announcing until I started watching Total Divas when I first got into watching wrestling. I didn't think her delivery and her work in that was the best. I felt like maybe she should have been like a backstage interview or something and doing that instead.
So one of my biggest problems is I've always stated when it comes to JoJo, she wasn't bad. You know, they never put anybody that's really bad on. But when I am at a wrestling event, you know, I pay attention. I look around. That's what I do. And Samantha Irvin be into those matches. Alicia Taylor be into those matches. JoJo will be there on her phone, taking pictures and stuff like that. She felt that was more important than anything. And I never really liked that. To me, she wasn't really a fan of the product. She was just more of, oh, this is my job. I like being around here. Haha, I'm a fan, but, you know, I care more about this and that. So I didn't feel it. But like I said, you feel with Samantha, that's why people like her. You feel when Samantha Irvin's calling the shots. I didn't like her Cody Rhodes announcement because I didn't like the fact Cody Rhodes just beat my tribal chief, but whatever. Alicia Taylor, I feel her energy and how much she's into the match. But Roxanne Perez, to get back to this match, Roxanne Perez in this match was not good. And it wasn't Roxanne Perez's fault, in my opinion. I just don't think these two have very good chemistry. I'm not sure why they were wrestling in the first place. It wasn't a good call to me, but it was interesting because it was different. And I like seeing Roxanne Perez pick up the victory. Roxanne Perez doesn't have lunch longer at NXT. They're keeping her in there for as long as possible. But I guarantee this time next year, she's getting called up.
Well, we all know she's going to get called up, whether it be next year or sometime probably later in the year, like maybe around the last few months, possibly. If not by next year.
Yeah, it's the same thing like with what's his name, Carmelo. They wanted to get him called up last year, but they realized they don't want to completely rape NXT.
Yeah, which is why they didn't call up a lot of people from it this year.
You're actually right. Roxanne Perez might not get called up next year because I think Cora Jade's next, and I don't think they're going to take Cora and Roxanne both at the same time. And just to piggyback off of this, I was not that big of a fan of Tony Chimmel. Justin Roberts, I consider a top 5 too. That was Chelsea's best performance in a long time. Okay, that's your opinion. I don't agree with it.
It was a decent performance.
I'm not going to like rip you for that one.
I feel like more of her indie work was a little bit better than her.
Her indie work definitely. Her indie work definitely was that, and that's why I first discovered Chelsea Green was her indie work.
I saw clips of her in a TNA, and then I wound up doing some searching, found some matches in the indies, and seeing her be a face was very interesting because I was not used to seeing her like that. But she does good work as a face, but she's
better as a heel.
Entertaining as a heel.
Yeah, she's better heel, and that might be a top 5 one day. Top 5 heels that are better than faces. Top 5 faces that are better heels. Top 5 people who can do both. I used to make the argument for quite a while, since I think 2010. I always thought Randy Orton is better as a face than a heel, but I'm in the minority. Most people think he's better as a heel. I say I can see why y'all would think that. His character work might be a little bit better as a heel. I can agree, but I feel like his in-ring work and psychology is better as a babyface. He knows how to draw in the crowd and get people behind him. If you don't believe me, understand that for the last 5 or 6 years, even when he does turn heel, it's very hard for people to boo him. He always can end up being a face just like that because people love him in that RKO. And my God, we talked about it last night on Raw. Wrestling Doll and I haven't had a chance to talk about it, but I know she's about to wrap up this show. But the fans in France love them some Randy Orton. But they love pretty much everybody.
Fans were loud. They shook up the camera once or twice.
For AJ Styles one, they definitely were shaking up the camera. Even Michael Cole had to say something. But it was very impressive. Those fans, and I know the people were giving it love or hate. Dice hated the fans.
He was like, they're being too loud. It's like, how often do these people get this stuff happening in their country?
He felt like they were being obnoxious and they were taking away from the match. And there's a part of me that can kind of somewhat see that at times, but I always said that a very good match can be ruined by a bad crowd. If they're having a good match and nobody's reacting, it takes away from that match being an A or 5-star. You can have a bad match, and then the fans will make it a great match.
Should we ask Daisuke if he prefer they go to Japan where they don't do as much reaction, where they're focused on watching the wrestling? They're not doing a damn thing. What's going on with them over there?
They do a lot of ooh and ah. They do a lot of ooh and ahs in Japan, and you can tell that because of Io Sky's style, Io Sky's style, because she always does this and pause and stuff, and that's what they do in Japan.
Well, that's what she's used to. She did it over there before.
Speaking of which, I think Asuka did a very good job in that tag match. I think they all did a very good job in that.
Yes, they did.
They sung Randy's theme very, very loudly. It was just great. France loved Bailey. This was a football type crowd. Plus, it was their first PLE in 10 years. That's true.
That's why they were so hyped up, guys. Come on.
France loved Bailey. France loved Tiffy Time. France loved Naomi. France adored, loved, and cherished Jey Uso. Who, in my opinion,
then cherishes Jey Uso right now.
Who, in my opinion, is still the most over wrestler in WWE. I'm sorry, the most over wrestler in the world, in my opinion, right now is Jey Uso. You cannot find anybody who's more popular.
Definitely a contender for King of the Ring this year.
Not Cody. I don't think he's going to win that, but not Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes is a number 2, and I think Trick Williams. This might be upsetting. I think Trick Williams is a number 3 or number 4, but I think Jey Uso is by far the number 1 baby face in the wrestling world. He's that over and that powerful. His entrance is amazing. If they keep that Firefly look, oh my God.
Well, we'll just see where they go with it. I hope they at least give him like a title shot or a chance to win it or something.
He should have beat Damian Priest. Damian Priest is not a world champion. He's doing all right, but he's not a world champion.
I can understand that, but I mean, I did enjoy his work when he first became U.S. champion, but then I felt like it kind of got a little redundant and boring. Especially when he went back and forth with Sheamus over and over again. I was like, make it stop.
If you are in a faction and you are not the most over or even the second most over person in your faction, you have no business being a world champion. He is still, in my opinion, number 4. Finn is still more over than him. Dom is still more over him. Rhea is definitely still more over him. He's only.
That's why eventually they're going to have Damian Priest break off, and they're going to have Finn Balor versus Damian Priest for that belt, and Finn Balor might possibly be the one to take that belt from that man.
Barely getting a reaction last night, but that's somewhat. It just pales in comparison to France, but they weren't as bad as some people say. They cheered the hell out of Jey Uso. As we talk about it, everybody loves Jey Uso. They cheered the hell out of Jey Uso. They were actually into that Ricochet Dragunov match, so you can't say anything really against them. There were times where they were pretty quiet, but also, hey, give it up for Natalya and Io Sky, right? When they came on, we were doing, shout out to Freckle Sensei and Evil Dose. We were doing a live watch along. I was going to make a joke about the fact that I wanted to go to the bathroom. But Natalya and Io Sky put on a fantastic match. I was impressed.
It was their first time working together in ring.
But the two of them, with all their experience and all their talent and everything they had, of course, I should expected that to happen with them. But I'm just conditioned not to think they were going to put on a good match, but they did, and the fans reacted to it. So I think a lot of the hate that the fans in Hartford, Connecticut are getting is because they weren't France. But I don't think any real place is going to be like France was all the time. Remember, I saw they acting about Puerto Rico last year. Puerto Rico did it, and I was in Puerto Rico.
They were popping.
They were crazy.
Listen,
they were crazy.
Latino people, we pop, especially when it comes to stuff like that.
It was just a very, very good time. Oh my God, my point where I don't want them to go out of the country. If people are going to keep bringing up the crowd not being loud. We here are spoiled. We always will say it, but you know why we are spoiled? Because we get it all the time. And WWE recognizes that.
We get it more frequently than any of these other countries do.
Fantastic.
There's few and far in between countries that get promotions traveling to them as opposed to people traveling all the way from their countries to us to come see it. A few and far indie shows do travel out there, whether they're big or not, whether they have like WWE or AEW level popularity. So we can't say that, oh, they're too loud, that's why people over here don't make a reaction. We're used to it. The WWE travels around the United States so much. We get it. Like some places get WWE shows maybe twice or three times a year at most. Other places don't get it. Like this one said, reading a comment, France got their first PLE visit from WWE in 10 years.
Ever, actually.
Let the people have their moment.
Right. Plus, it's Connecticut. Nobody cares about Connecticut. But also keep in mind about this. WWE does not do anything unintentional. This is the first time that you can think of where WWE announced the attendance less than like 12 or 13,000 people. It was only 11,105 people in that arena, which is not a small number by any means. But they never say we have 11,000 people here. They usually just don't say anything. They'll say sold out, jam-packed. That's all they'll say. They won't give you a number. They did that for a reason.
And if we hear like we only get 10 or 11,000, they're like, oh, that's it?
That's it?
It's not 40, it's not 50, it's not 70,000?
What did those 11,000 people do? They gave them the largest gate for any arena show in wrestling WWE history. That's big. That's over all those Raws. That's over all those SmackDowns, PLEs. That is big. It was only 11,000, not the 13, 17, 20,000 people there. Now, granted, they probably jacked up the price, but they can do that because they're in another freaking country, and that's what they do. Look at it this way. They were just in France. In 3 weeks, they'll be in Saudi Arabia. 3 weeks after that, they're going to be in Scotland. The next PLE is not until SummerSlam. That's in the United States. And then immediately right after that, they're going to Germany. Right? They are doing that because they are appreciated over there and they get the money over there. Not that we don't, because we've been setting records over here too. Look at WrestleMania. The biggest WrestleMania of all time. 39 was better. I was staying by that. 39 was better than 40, and I was at 40.
Some matches were hyped up too much and it didn't live up to the expectations, I will say.
Correct.
That.
Jimmy and Jay.
He even said that he was disappointed in how it turned out. But time was cut. That's what he said.
He did. The people who complain about the crowds need to buy a ticket to every damn show and scream at the top of their lungs at every show or zip it. Those are the people who need to go to AEW shows, because the 5 people that are watching in that arena are very happy to see Will Ospreay. And the people who go to NXT are very loud as well. But that's because that's
because they don't have to pay for a ticket. It's literally free admission.
That's true. It is free admission. Cap says also they're going to keep complaining about the crowds. Imagine they stop doing PLEs in the US because of their yapping. Then they'll be sick.
They'll be like, "Oh, why aren't they doing it in the USA anymore?" And we'll be like, "Because y'all wouldn't shut the hell up about other countries being happy."
Yeah, we're going to be surprised because at the bottom line is that he said at the press conference, Nick Khan said stadium. That means, hey, we're trying to come back. They're looking at other places. These tours that they're doing, as he said in the press conference, is to fill out cities. They are world wrestling entertainment. Plus, they still said they were trying to open up a few more NXT globals around the area. They're doing everything.
Last time we checked, it's not USAWE, it's WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, not United States of America Wrestling Entertainment.
And they just announced WrestleMania in Las Vegas, which I'll be, and we'll talk wrestling doll because I'm trying to get everybody there, and I have a year to do it. But we know it's going to happen. WrestleMania is going to be out of the country, and I'm not talking about Canada, very, very soon. They're getting used to having these PLEs on Saturdays at different times than 8 o'clock p.m. I think that's one of the reasons why they don't move WrestleMania. They don't want to have it at 1 o'clock, but they're getting used to it. I am planning to try to be in New York to visit some friends for Clash at the Castle. So in June for a day party. See how it's going to go. Boom. Y'all clocking T tonight. World Wrestling Entertainment is just a name anymore. That's why they don't look at All Elite Wrestling as a competition. That's no disrespect to AEW, but they don't. You can't do it at this level. But keep doing it at your level. Keep doing it at your level.
Was the only entertaining taping that I enjoyed, at least from the AEW.
The taping that we went that we almost got into a fight, or almost got into a fight? You talking about that one?
I enjoyed that taping, but seeing pictures and stuff from it afterwards, it's like, damn, what happens to the quality of the products if it's getting that low? It's as far as crowd attendance. And then they got to do the same trick that WWE does sometimes when some of the seats aren't packed like they want it to be.
June 15th is Bailey's birthday.
Hey, we want some Bailey. And we want to put her on the posters because why do they keep making these freaking posters with all the champions and they still keep leaving her out?
Yeah, that poster they have that looks like Wakanda, Black Panther.
They put Rhea Ripley's face on a poster, but they still haven't put Bailey's on there.
They put a lot of champions on there, but they didn't put I don't think they put Damian Priest on there. Yeah, they didn't put Damian Priest or Bailey on there, but they had all the other. They had the Intercontinental Champion, they had the United States Champion, they had the WWE Champion, and they had the Women's Tag Team Champions. But they didn't put the WWE Tag Team Champions, the World Tag Team Champions, the World Heavyweight Champion, or the WWE Women's Champion on there. They can leave out Damian. He don't sell tickets. That's why he's not a good world champion. Damian Priest does not sell tickets.
I mean, I get it.
People will buy a ticket and say, people will buy a ticket and say, I want to see Rhea Ripley. People will buy a ticket and say, I want to boo Dirty Dom. I know it because of one of the Raws I went to when Dirty Dom was just won his NXT North American Champion. Screw you, Wes Lee. Well, he just won his NXT North American Championship for the second time, I might add. And they announced him. Everybody got on their feet to prepare to boo Dirty Dom. Finn Balor, people still buy tickets for. Nobody buys tickets for Damian Priest unless he's facing Bad Bunny. I'm just saying. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No one's going to discorrect you on that because I enjoyed Damian Priest.
Sells tickets.
I will always say that I enjoyed Damian Priest as the Archer of Infamy.
I enjoy his character. I like Damian Priest. He's just not
He just doesn't sell now as far as his in-ring, his character.
Personally, we don't see eye to eye. We had some good times. We had some good drinks, but personally, we don't see eye to eye because he always clowned me because that's what he told. He said, "How's Miz your favorite wrestler?" Because he's my favorite wrestler. Besides that, we got along. Yeah, but unfortunately, Cap, you need to realize that Damien's going to be the babyface and Finn's going to be the heel. That's where we're
exactly.
That's where we're going. The leader of the letter pants committee and nothing more.
Then again, it could be like a Mickie James Trish Stratus moment that even though Mickie James was the heel in that match for the Women's Championship, they were still booing Trish.
They were booing.
It could be like that. Yes.
Yeah, people get tired of people, and people should be tired of Damian Priest. But the way WWE is making it out to be, this is why you're going to keep them with with Dom and JD McDonough, because it's just like with the Rhea thing, right? I said when Rhea was facing Nia Jax, notice Dirty Dom was never out there, right?
Nope.
But then when she was going to go against Becky Lynch, then all of a sudden Dirty Dom started to come out there more because they wanted Becky to be the heel. It just wasn't. I mean, if Becky to be the face, it just really wasn't working. But they know, in order to really turn Rhea fully face, like it's obvious that's what they want to do because she's so freaking over. You're going to have to separate Dirty Dom from Rhea Ripley. It's just how it is. And
have Dominic be part of the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour, it seems.
As well, he should. Who wouldn't want to be part of Liv Morgan Revenge Tour? You get to sleep with her. It's definitely going to be a Mickey Tish thing. That's where it's going. Stop keeping Bailey off posters. Agreed, Chris. Yeah. So, anyway, back to you.
Well, we definitely had a lot to talk about with NXT. The stuff that's been put up. Yeah, all that stuff with Finn was crazy.
I mean, they came out to help him. He was about to lose the world title like he should have. But they came out and saved him not once, but twice, possibly 3 times. And he just disrespected JD and Finn.
And terrible. In about a couple of days, he apologized and said that he shouldn't have done that. But as Miss Jay Sawyer said on her Instagram story,
where were they?
He was Damian Priest was perfectly fine with helping out Finn Balor, but when it came to
Jay
him,
Uso
no.
For the King of the Ring qualifying match, where was Damian Priest to come help his boy?
Apparently shining up his still championship belts. I don't know. I don't get it.
How is he the world heavyweight champion and he's not even the top 5 superstar on Monday Night Raw? I asked that question yesterday. If you were to pick 5 people for Monday Night Raw and Damian Priest is not one of them, why is he your world champion?
I would have put him at like number 11.
You're making it worse. He's not even in your top 10.
That's my point. He's not sellable as a champion. I agree. Yes, they wanted to give him a Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 35 moment.
This is shocking.
Good, you gave him the moment.
When was the last time you ever agreed with anything I said? When was the last time you agreed with anything I said? You've been such a hater. You've been a hater for 40 years, and I don't know why.
I've only known you for like 3.
It feels like 40. Clock the tea. Oh my God, it's tea time and nobody talking.
The tea has been piping since we started talking about stuff that wasn't NXT related, except for Mike Rome and Alicia Taylor possibly being switched out.
Oh, all rise. That's his catchphrase. All rise. And then Pat McAfee clowned him on Raw, right? He said, still see a lot of people sitting down.
No. You know what? If he had said all rise, I would have risen and gone to the bathroom.
Oh, you would have risen? How does that work? Because that's not in the dictionary. Let's see.
I would have risen up from my seat and gone to the bathroom because now Damian Priest bores me. I'm sorry to say it, as someone who liked Damian Priest, he bores me now. I can't watch him because he's boring.
All rise.
And I will rise and go to the bathroom and wait till it's over to go sit back down.
No, don't come on, man, Damian like that. He's not that bad. He's just, once again, great talent, like his character.
He's talented. Not a world champion. I will never say he's not talented.
How are you going to have him as a world champion? You have Drew McIntyre on your roster. Okay, Drew McIntyre is the only person that can make that world title a world title, and you don't give him the title. You have Damian.
He's not medically cleared. That's why he was taken out of the match, and Jey Uso was replaced him because he's still not medically cleared. And plus, once he and CM Punk are cleared, they're going to be at each other's throats like white on rice, as my mom would say.
Damian and his Morgan Freeman voice need to come up off that title and gift it to Finn. I can't believe Cap just insulted Morgan Freeman.
Yes, so anyways, all of that. So I'm just going to say the ending of the show real quickly. Roxanne Perez won with Pop Rocks. The D'Angelo family's beating up Damon Kemp, driving off. Tony D's asking where's their catch clause now, which basically means it's going to be Charlie Dempsey versus Miles Bourne next week, and or Miles Bourne.
You know,
Charlie Dempsey has no clue, and then the show's over. I just want to finish the ending of it.
No, you definitely finished. I haven't seen somebody finish that hard since Pornhub. So You know who's not here right now, but he was in the comments at the beginning? Can you guess who you don't see on the chat?
Is it Elvis?
No, Elvis made an appearance. He doesn't stay for a whole show
George?
anymore. It's George. George started the show by saying stuff in the comments. As soon as he saw that your special guest tonight was the executive consultant, he and his Kentucky Fried ass went out the chat. That's just funny to me. I talk to Badguy Jack about that all the time. I'll call him tomorrow.
And on that note, that is the NXT. He might have his own theme, but it's meh. I still
Priest?
It's all right, but I just prefer
it's
his.
Horrible.
I just prefer his Archer of Infamy gimmick and theme song. I just found that one much more better.
I like his gimmick.
I feel like it fits him more.
I like his gimmick now better. I did like Archer of Infamy, but I like his gimmick now more. But I miss his old music. If that makes sense. But they keep trying to change it, and it doesn't work. You know, they're trying to make him seem like a main eventer, but he's not.
He's still a mid-card champion in my books.
Yeah. Gunther is a world champion to me.
Yes. He made the IC title mean something. And no offense, but of all people to beat apart Sami Zayn, nothing against Sami Zayn, but I personally would have had like maybe Chad Gable take the belt off of him and then turn his back on the people.
But Sami Zayn is so over. That's why they did it, right?
No, I understand that.
And that match is actually one of the best matches of that weekend of WrestleMania 39, so I was fine with it. Sami Zayn knows how to sell. Sami Zayn also more over than Damian Priest.
Yes, he definitely is.
But that's something we talked about another time too. The controversy now over people wanting to get rid of the WWE's people who make their music now. I think they're called Def Rebel because a lot of their songs sound generic, and they do.
A lot of the songs do sound the same. I'm literally like,
but they've made some hits.
Or of a good number of them, and people and a lot of fans don't like some of the themes now. Like people don't like Tiffany Stratton's theme song now. They're like, we don't like it, and well, she was like, well, I wanted to change it, so y'all can hate on it, but it was my idea.
It's fine. It is a little bit generic, but it's fine. I don't like Bayley's new theme song at all. But I know why she needed to change it because her other one sounded kind of heelish, so I get that.
Yes.
But they made some decent ones. Almost everybody that got called up from NXT got a new theme song.
Not surprising.
Yeah. There was somebody else who said a new song and I liked it, and I can't remember who it was now.
Well, don't ask me. I don't really watch too much of Raw and SmackDown because sometimes I'm out and I'm not watching it, and sometimes I just don't want to watch Raw because it's too long.
Join us for a watch party one day. You might enjoy it.
Yeah, we'll see, depending on my schedule.
All right, here we go.
And on that note, folks, here are all the shows you can catch here on Unpopular Review. On Monday nights at 6, you can catch the Mike Knox Show for the intelligent wrestling fan. And then right after Monday Night Raw, you have our Monday night review shows with who? EC, because I can't see the graphic and
it's Monday night watch party with myself, Freckle Sensei, and Evil Dose.
And then on Tuesdays, you have myself and Badguy Jack usually, but until he comes back, it's whoever will be joining me. Then you have AEW Dynamite with Dan the Man. You have Friday Night SmackDown reviews on Saturdays. Yes, and then we have SmackDown with Dice Man and Vic, and then we have AEW Collision reviews.
That's so cute. AEW Collision we canceled. We don't have that anymore. But this
then
week we have
change the graphic.
We should actually we did. I gotta put it in here. Top 5 this Thursday. We talk about the best factions of the early 2000s, 2000 and 2009. Looking forward to talking about that. I don't know if it's going to be WWE only or wrestling. But anyway, top factions of the 2000s, early 2000s. So looking forward to that. UPR East Side, we are reviewing none other than Crimson Tide this coming Thursday. X-Men 97, episode 7 on Friday. Looking forward to that. So, yeah.
And for everything else, you can catch my YouTube channel, The Unofficial Camerawoman, where I go throughout Central Florida, occasionally South Florida, record matches, put them up online. And you can catch this one at wrestling shows, doing his thing, ring announcing, managing, and occasionally wrestling as well, depending which company he's in. And you can catch us back here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and Twitch. Just follow us on these products. And make sure you press that notification button to be notified when we have our videos come out. Until we're back, I am the wrestling doll, Sabrina Stella, the unofficial camerawoman. This is the executive consultant. Wishing you all a good night.
Night.